friends, welcome to Online Web Tutor. I am Sanjay. In this video we'll discuss a very conceptual point of CodeIgniter 4, and that is all about the basics concept of method spoofing. If I back to editor, so here I have opened a CodeIgniter 4 setup. By the help of this setup, we'll understand all about the complete basics concept of method spoofing. So first thing first, what is method spoofing? So method spoofing is a concept inside CodeIgniter 4. By the help of that, we can change or we can alter a request at runtime. So to understand, let's go to slide here. Suppose we have a form. We are submitting that form using post request type. So inside form, as we know that inside form tag, we have an attribute called method. Suppose we have method equals to post, but we want to submit our form using put request type. So how can we change our form from post to put request type? Now here comes the concept of method spoofing. So method spoofing is a process by the help of that we can dynamically change our request method from, for example, from post to put request type. So here it will be put request type, but it can be achieved by adding an input type hidden field with the keyword called method. It means this will be a named attribute called underscore method and its value equals to put. Let's understand to create a form first. Back to editor, I will go inside app, controllers. Let's open any of the controller file. So I will choose site controller.php. Inside this class file, let's create a method first. So public function, let's call it as custom form, and from this method we will return a view file. So let's return view, and here let's say custom -form. Next we need to create a view file, so I will copy that, go here inside this app views folder. Let's create a PHP file, that is custom-form.php. Now inside this view file, let's execute that. So welcome to custom form. Here we have method. This is our view file. Now next we need a route, so go to app config, and from config folder I will open this routes.php. So here let's say routes get method, and if I will call it as custom-form, it will call site controller, and from site controller we want to call this method. So let's copy the method name and put it here. Let's start development server. Back to project terminal, PHP Spark serve. Development server started. So to access our application, I will copy this project URL, copy link, back to browser, open a new tab, paste it here, press enter. Now here we can see our landing page. So here if I type /custom-form, now we can see our own static message. So instead of this static message, now we want to create a form. So to create a form, I will go inside this w3schools.com section of Bootstrap, and from here from left sidebar I will choose BS panels. It means Bootstrap panels. Now from all these panels I will select for this one, so click on try it yourself. Here we have some code snippet, so I will copy whole code from here, back to editor, and paste here inside this view file. Now here instead of h2, let's say h3, and panel heading if I call it as, let's say, my form. Inside this class I will change some bootstrap class from panel-default to panel-primary. Inside this panel heading, let's say my form, and inside this panel body here we have a static message, that is panel content. So instead of that message I want a form. So go here inside this left sidebar, scroll down, and I will choose BS forms, and from this forms list I will select this one form, that is Bootstrap horizontal form. So here we have all about the code section. So I will copy the complete code from here back to editor, and I am pasting all the code into this panel body. Now if I will save all these changes, go here, let's reload this page. Now as you can see that here we have a panel, and inside this panel here we have our custom form. And one more thing I want to change, that is the color of this button. So submit button, so instead of calling btn-default, I will call it as btn-success. Now color has been changed, but according to need, let's say that I don't want this remember me button. So here we have email and password. So to understand the concept of method spoofing, these fields are okay. So here inside this form tag, let's add a method attribute, and I will pass post type. And also inside this action attribute, we need to pass a URL where the form will be submitted. So let's create a route here. So I will go inside this routes.php. Let's say routes. I will make use of post method, and let's say form-submit. It will call the same controller, that is site controller, and inside that controller will create a method called form submit. So copy the method name, go to controller class. Let's say public function form submit. Let's go to custom-form.php file. Inside this action attribute, let's say php tag echo. I will use site URL function, and inside this site URL we need to pass this. So I will copy this form-submit and paste it here. Save all these changes, back to browser, go and reload. So if I inspect this form, go here inside our action attribute, and here as we can see that project URL /index.php form-submit. Let's add some name attribute inside our created fields. So here we have our email field. So name equals to email, and for password, it's a name equals to password. Let's reload this page. So when we fill any data for this email address and password, click on submit button, all the data will be submitted to this URL, and this URL is calling all about this form submit method, and inside this method we have this static message. Back to browser, go and reload. Let's pass some dummy value. Password something random value. Click on submit button, and now as you can see that form submitted, it means everything is working fine. But here we can see that here we have submitted our form using post method, and also handled inside this routes.php using post method. But in some cases, let's say that we want to submit this form using post method, but actually this form handler will accept put method. So whenever we change from post to put method, now when we save this data, this method it will hit this form submit, but this form submit has a method type equals to put request type. So hopefully we'll get some exception. So if I go and reload this page, let's pass again some data here. Pass some password, click on submit button. Now we can see that 404 can't find a route post form submit. It means the requested URL is all about accepting the post request type, but here this form handler URL will accept put request type. So there is some confusion of this form submit and this form submit handler. So here comes the concept of method spoofing. It means we want to convert this post request type, it means form submission post request type, into this put request type, and this will be done using method spoofing. So what I will do, go here inside this form tag, add input type hidden field, name attributes equals to underscore method, it's a keyword, and here inside its value just pass put value. So automatically when we submit this form at runtime, dynamically this post request type will be converted into put request type, and hopefully we'll see that this method will be called when we submit this form. Save all these changes, go to browser, reload this page, let's pass one more time. Dummy value, click on submit button. Now we can see that form submitted, and this action is achievable by using method spoofing concept. In the same way, we can use for delete request type. For example, this is a form. By the help of that form, we are deleting something. And also here inside this routes.php, we have created a route using delete method. It means that this route will be hit using delete request type. So in this case, as we can see that we are submitting our form using post request type, but dynamically we are converting into put request type, but this request type is not acceptable by this URL because this URL will accept using delete request type. So what I will do, I will go inside this hidden field and change from put to delete request type. Save this change, go back to browser, let's pass again some data here, fill some password, click on submit, form submitted. So this is how we can work with method spoofing concept. This concept is too much useful when we work with CRUD operation. So in case of update and delete, as we know that for update operations we generally use put request type or patch request type. So these requests will be done using method spoofing concept, because inside form tag, inside this method attribute, we can only pass the value as get request type or post request type. But to perform our delete operation and update operations, put and delete request will be accepted. So to complete those actions, we can use the concept of method spoofing and change our dynamic request type from post to any of the request type like put request type or delete request type. So this is what we had seen in web applications. If suppose we are creating our APIs, so in APIs we can follow the same pattern. We can pass this name attribute inside our form data, and also we can accept those requests inside our routes.php. Let's see quick action. So I have just opened a Postman here. So before doing anything inside Postman, let's create an API controller. Inside that API controller, we'll create some method and we'll accept some data by the help of this tool. So I will go inside this project terminal. Let's stop our development server. I will create an API controller class that is a RESTful controller. So PHP Spark make controller, and let's call it as API. I will use suffix as flag. It means it will create API controller.php, and also we don't need any normal controller, we want a RESTful controller. So I will pass one more flag, that is RESTful. Press enter. API controller class created. Back to editor. Go here inside our app folder. Inside app, controllers, and here as we can see API controller.php. So what I will do, I will first remove all the code from here. Let's create a method, so public function, and for the time being let's call it as update student, and this method will be hit using put request type. So here let's say return this response created. Let's pass an array value, and here let's say status equals to true, message data updated, and one more method I will create here. Let's say public function, and it will be delete student, and this method will hit using delete request type. So I will copy this response here, put it here, and let's say data deleted. So save these changes. Let's go inside routes.php, and here I will create two routes. So routes, for the first I will use put request type, and let's say delete -student, sorry, it's update -student. We will call API controller, and from API controller we'll call this method called update student, and this route will be hit using put request type. I will copy, put it here. This is for delete request type, and the route will be something called delete -student, and the method will called delete student. So successfully, this is our API controller. Here we have our API routes, and this is Postman tool. But before that, we need to start development server. So copy this project URL, copy link back to Postman, and here let's say this is our project URL. So / if I pass update -student, this is the route what we have created, but this will be hit according to this requirement for using put request type. So if we use for get request type, click on submit button. As we can see here, we are getting some exception, that is this route can't find a route using get method. So we need to use, let's say, put request type, click on send button. As we can see, data updated. But here, if we want to select using post request type, click on send button. Again, we have the same exception, but this will be completed using method spoofing concept. So what I will do, after selecting post request type, go inside body, form data, and here pass underscore method. It's a keyword as I told. So here inside value, I will pass put value. Either we can pass into lowercase or uppercase. So after passing put value inside underscore method, if I click on send button, so instead of getting exception, now this time we are getting some response here. So same goes for delete -student. So delete -student, this method will be called either using delete method directly, or if we go here, select post method and body form data, if I pass underscore method equals to delete, click on send button, data delete. So this is the concept of method spoofing. So overall, now we have a conclusion here, that is a method spoofing concept inside CodeIgniter 4. By the help of that, we can change dynamically a method type into another method type. So here we had seen the concept converting a post request type into put request type or delete request type. By using this concept, we can create a CRUD-based application by using appropriate request methods. For list data, we can use get method. To save data, we can use post method. To update any data, we can use put method or batch method. So to delete any student, we can use delete method. So by using the concept of method spoofing, we can use appropriate methods in CRUD-based applications. And also in case of APIs, here we have seen that how it is useful. So successfully, in this complete video, now we have a complete concept of method spoofing of CodeIgniter 4. So I hope you will get something from this video. So please like, comment and subscribe to this channel. So for this video session guys, thank you for watching and have a great day.